Welcome back to Twisted Movie Trivia Part 7. Today, we're going to have some fun and really challenge your knowledge with some twisted questions about some classic films from the 1950s. In today's Twisted Challenge, there will be 20 questions. The first 7 questions will have 1 actor in each clue, and the rest will have 2 actors in each. Remember, in these twisted challenges, you will need to know the actors who played the characters in the question. Then you will need to figure out from the clue what movie that actor or those actors were in. And just as before, there is no time limit, so pause after each question. Are you ready to see if you are a true movie maniac? Good luck and have fun. Question 1. A chimp helps the Gipper win an environment versus heredity debate in this 1951 comedy. Answer: Ronald Reagan, the Gipper in Knute Rockne All-American, stars in Bedtime for Bonzo. Question 2. Sergeant York must face a deadly gang of killers without any help from the townspeople in this 1952 classic Western. Answer: Gary Cooper, who is Sergeant York, stars in High Noon. Question 3. This Golden Boy, 1939, gets a tarnished reputation in a Nazi prisoner of war camp before he exposes the real Stoolie who has been sabotaging their plans of escape in this 1953 drama. Answer: William Holden, who was the Golden Boy, stars in Stalag 17. Question 4. Sugar Cane sweetens the imagination of her downstairs neighbor while his wife is away in this 1955 comedy. Answer: Marilyn Monroe, who was Sugar Cane in Some Like It Hot, stars in The 7-Year Itch. Question 5. Mr. Roberts rocks the boat when he is the only juror to vote not guilty in this 1957 legal drama. Answer: Henry Fonda, who is Mr. Roberts, stars in 12 Angry Men. Question 6. Ulysses finds himself in a futuristic submarine and is attacked by a giant squid in this 1954 adventure fantasy. Answer: Kirk Douglas, who was Ulysses, stars in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Question 7. This left-handed gun is a two-fisted boxer in this 1956 biography about Rocky Graziano. Answer: Paul Newman, who is the left-handed gun, stars in Somebody Up There Likes Me. And now get ready for some 2-actor questions. Question 8. Mark Anthony, 1953, and Tony Rome are swingin', singin' gangsters in this 1955 musical. Answer: Marlon Brando, who was Mark Anthony in Julius Caesar, and Frank Sinatra, who is Tony Rome, star in Guys and Dolls. Question 9. This Woman of the Year persuades Captain Queeg to use his riverboat to attack a German gunship in this 1951 adventure film. Answer: Katharine Hepburn, who is Woman of the Year, and Humphrey Bogart, who was Captain Queeg in the Caine Mutiny, star in The African Queen. Question 10. The millionairess becomes the nanny to 3 children of widowed Father Goose in this 1958 light-hearted comedy. Answer: Sophia Loren, who is the millionairess, and Cary Grant, who is Father Goose, star in Houseboat. Question 11. The Crimson Pirate and Spartacus shoot up the Clanton gang in this 1957 Western. Answer: Burt Lancaster, who was the Crimson Pirate, and Kirk Douglas, who was Spartacus, star in Gunfight at the OK Corral. Question 12. Napoleon, 1954, and Zorba the Greek play brothers in this 1952 film about a famous Mexican revolutionary leader. Answer: Marlon Brando, who is Napoleon in Desiree, and Anthony Quinn, who is Zorba the Greek, play brothers in Viva Zapata. Question 13. Eliza Doolittle is a bored and sheltered princess who escapes her guardians and falls in love with Atticus Finch in this 1953 romantic comedy. Answer: Audrey Hepburn, who was Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady, and Gregory Peck, who was Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird, star in Roman Holiday. Question 14. Michelangelo will not paint a pretty picture for this Karamazov brother if he doesn't let his people go from Egypt in this 1956 epic religious drama. Answer: Charlton Heston, who is Michelangelo in The Agony and the Ecstasy, and Yul Brynner, who is Dmitri Karamazov in The Brothers Karamazov, star in The 10 Commandments. Question 15. Ensign Pulver, 1954, and The Great Imposter dress like women to escape the mob in this 1959 comedy. Answer: Jack Lemmon, who was Ensign Pulver in Mr. Roberts, and Tony Curtis, who was The Great Imposter, star in Some Like It Hot. Question 16. Stanley Kowalski could have been a boxing contender. Instead, his brother, the pawnbroker, leads him into a world of crime in this 1954 drama. Answer: Marlon Brando, who was Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire, and Rod Steiger, the pawnbroker, star in On the Waterfront. Question 17. The amorous Moll Flanders, 1965, casts a spell over Elwood P. Dowd in this 1958 light-hearted comedy. Answer: Kim Novak, who was Moll Flanders in The Amorous Adventures of Moll Flanders, and James Stewart, who was Elwood P. Dowd in Harvey, star in Bell, Book, and Candle. Question 18. This American in Paris helps lift the unsinkable Molly Brown to become a talking movie star at the end of the silent era in this 1952 musical romantic comedy. Answer: Gene Kelly in American in Paris, and Debbie Reynolds, who was the unsinkable Molly Brown, star in Singin' in the Rain. Question 19. Nothing goes smoothly for Father Flanagan as he organizes the wedding of his daughter Velvet Brown in this 1950 romantic comedy. Answer: Spencer Tracy, who was Father Flanagan in Men of Boys Town, and Elizabeth Taylor, who was Velvet Brown in National Velvet, star in Father of the Bride. And question 20. Rooster Cogburn gets his feathers ruffled when he moves to Ireland and falls in love with fiery redhead Esmeralda in 1939, whose bully of a brother won't let them marry in this 1952 romantic comedy drama. Answer: John Wayne, who was Rooster Cogburn in True Grit, and Maureen O'Hara, who was Esmeralda in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, star in The Quiet Man. Thank you so much for joining me for Twisted Movie Trivia Part 7, Films of the 1950s. I hope you had fun, and please remember to tell your friends, subscribe, hit the bell so you can get more of the content as it comes out. And remember, coming soon, Twisted Movie Trivia Part 8. I hope to see you then.